Hi everyone, so this is Anto Chávez, BELatina's writer, and as usual we're having again a very interesting conversation, this time with Jen Molina, who's another Latina staffer for the Biden campaign, and she's the Latino director, the National Latino Director. So we'll have her here with us and we'll be talking about the debate, Biden's plans for the future of this country, and basically who won and who didn't have a great debate last night. And for those folks who were not able to watch the whole thing, because let's be honest, a lot of people in the Latinx community have huge responsibilities, kids, work, and sometimes we don't have time to watch the full debate. So for those people, we'll have a summarized version of it right now. So this live will live in our page, and you can send it to all of your friends and family who really need these answers. So I'm really excited about this conversation with Jen. And so she should be on very soon. Hi, Jen. Yay, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Yeah, I'm
Where
doing
are
well.
you? This looks beautiful. I love that background. My goodness.
Yeah, that's my house. It's very colorful.
I love it. I love
I'm
it.
in Arizona. Very sunny. What about you?
Uh, I'm in LA.
Oh, okay. It's
Yes. It's really
how's it?
hot.
Yeah.
I don't have AC in my apartment, and it's been very hot lately. And I'm actually heading east next week, so I'll be getting ready for the cold.
Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. Do you like the cold?
The cold is okay. I miss wearing sweaters and boots. But I do have to say that I've been in LA now for about 4 years, and I love that I can just throw flip-flops on 24/7, and I fully have embraced Southern California.
I completely understand that. I used to live in Miami and now here. I mean, you may say that when you go on vacation, like you're excited to wear, cold weather
I know, and you're
clothes, but
there, you're like, oh, I hate this.
then
Yeah.
you're over it.
hmm
Yeah. Well, let's jump right in. Can you tell us a little bit about you? Who are you and what do you do with the campaign?
Yes, my name is Jennifer Molina. I am the Latino Media Director. So I focus on all of our messaging and kind of ensuring Latino voters across the board, both in English and Spanish, have, all of the tools necessary to kind of learn about who we are as a campaign, who Joe Biden is, what his plan is for our future, and likewise with Kamala Harris as well. I am an immigrant. I was born in Cali, Colombia. I am the daughter of an amazing mom and come from a family that's all primarily Latina. So a big fan of this, and just so happy to be having this conversation. And, I think for all of us, there's just so much at stake in this election. And it's part of the reason why I'm engaged in politics. I think for me personally, all politics is personal. I grew up in a low income household, and I saw firsthand, and, I grew up undocumented. I grew up without healthcare, and I saw how many policies, like all throughout, impacted my life directly. And I didn't grow up kind of knowing that the power of politics, right? Because there's so many people who are making decisions for you. And my family didn't necessarily, sorry, my family didn't speak about politics on a day-to-day basis. So I had no idea until I went away to college in Holland, Michigan, which is a small town in Michigan. I don't know how I ended up there, but it happened. And I really just saw, the contrast between just wealth disparities and how I grew up, and how, my colleagues and former classmates versus, my new classmates in Michigan who, were a little bit more well-to-do. And, I just saw the injustices, and it's part of the reason why I decided to get engaged. And, I think it's so important for everyone to just, I know sometimes politics it's so chaotic, but it's so important to just be engaged, to make your voices heard. We do have the power within our vote. It is fully our voice and our power. So I love having the ability to speak directly to the importance of that.
I agree, Jen. And I think one of the most important things of the campaign are always the debates, right? And the first one sets the mood. So I would love to talk about that. Who do you think won last night? How do you think it went?
Yes, well, it's obvious. I will say Joe Biden made clear that he is, we really saw kind of the stark difference and just one, what's at stake for this election of, having a president right in this moment who arrived to the debate stage, who was not necessarily the most presidential. We saw Donald Trump come with full attacks, and Joe Biden continue to address the American people. We knew that this was a big opportunity for us to speak directly to the impacts that every family is feeling right now with COVID-19, to fully call out Donald Trump's failed leadership and the fact that he didn't have concrete plans. He avoided this virus fully, and as a result, there's so many Latino families specifically who are struggling right now. Joe Biden had a moment where he spoke directly into the camera and said, I know what you must feel right now in terms of grief, that you might have an empty chair right in your kitchen table of a family member who might have passed away because of COVID. And, just the compassion and the empathy that Joe Biden has in comparison to Donald Trump, it's just night and day. So, although it was unfortunate to just see Donald Trump just be who Donald Trump is, it's not a surprise. I think Joe Biden, as he's done this entire campaign, has stuck to the issues, has stuck speaking directly to the American people about the issues that matter to them. Nobody cares to sit there and like kind of watch like a screaming match. Like that's not what voters care about. We know voters are in need right now. There's so much going on, and people just want to hear concrete solutions and plans and how we're gonna, better our country, because that's all what all of us want ultimately.
Right. And so for those people who can't really sit down and watch for an hour and a half, sorry, especially in the Latinx community, a lot of us have work, some others, Latina moms have kids and all these responsibilities. So for them, how would you summarize what happened last night?
Yeah, I think, again, it's a clear contrast. We saw Joe Biden come to this debate prepared to speak directly to the American people about the issues that they care about. And Donald Trump just, again, hit double down over and over on his hateful rhetoric. And it couldn't be more clear the stakes of this election. We saw Donald Trump make really, really false claims. We know that he is desperate at this point. We continue to increase in the polls, but we always say that the polls don't matter. We have to do the work. We have to reach every voter and really, really, mobilize our communities all throughout. But I think top line messages, we saw clearly that there was only one presidential candidate that was clearly poised and ready to be president, and that's not the candidate to step out of Air Force One. Like that is fully clear. And it was just great to see Joe Biden kind of stand his stance and fully speak directly to the issues that voters want to hear about. His plans to combat COVID. No matter how many times Donald Trump tried to interrupt him, he kept on bringing it back to the issues. He kept on trying to speak about COVID, which is top of mind for so many people, is about his actual concrete plans to, build back better, to, combat climate change, to tackle, economic injustices all throughout. So we're going to continue to do that all throughout. And again, Joe Biden made clear that he is the candidate who is ready to lead our country, and that he is not necessarily a candidate who's only preaching to one segment of voters. He really wants to represent the entire United States. He wants to be your president. If you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever it is, he wants to be there for you. And ultimately, government it should be working for the people, and that's what he wants. Unlike Donald Trump, who, we even saw in his taxes this week that he's only paid $750 in taxes. It's bizarre. He just focuses on benefiting himself over and over, and that's not what we want to do. Clearly, we know that people are in need, and Joe Biden has, concrete solutions and plans to help working families. That's what we're going to keep on hitting on over and over.
And that's all awesome. But I also want to say there's always room for improvement. So what are some of the questions that you think Joe might have answered in a better way, or he could improve for next debate?
Yeah, I think it was hard trying to get a point across when Donald Trump was clearly just, making really, really false claims. I think Joe Biden tried as hard as he was able to speak directly to the American people. And I think, we're not going to feed into Donald Trump's bait. We haven't done so throughout this entire campaign. We know that, that's what he wants ultimately. He always wants to distract. And Joe Biden is always going to want to speak about the issues. So from here on, in every single debate, that's exactly what we're going to continue to do. Is speak about the issues that matter to voters. He brought up climate change, healthcare, economy. Every issue is so, so important for our community. And we want to make sure that voters know, right? The voters know that we actually have plans to better and improve our country. He always speaks about building back better, knowing that there's so many communities and families who are struggling right now, and we can't have a framing of just we need to rebuild our country. We need to build back better to ensure that every community has access to a better future, that it shouldn't matter what zip code you come from or where you grew up or what time you live in, that you deserve a fair shot at the American dream and at every opportunity. And that's what we want to fight for. And another thing that Joe Biden says over and over again is that we are in the fight for the battle, the soul of our nation. And that's exactly, my thinking as this campaign, right? It's grueling as it is. It's every day we're fighting because Donald Trump is not who America is. He does not represent our values, our values all throughout. This is still the country where you can move here and build a family and be able to exceed, start a small business. Like that's what we're fighting for ultimately, and we'll continue to do that.
And so that's one of the things that voters are worried about and concerned, just the core values of this country, and what's going to happen if we have another 4 years of Donald Trump, and what's been happening this 4 years. So yesterday, last night, he refused to condemn white supremacists, right? And in fact, he told them to stand back and stand by. So what does that really mean for everyone, for this country, and for, immigrants, or for everyone who's living here? What does that mean going forward? And what does it mean to the Biden campaign as well?
Of course, I think it's a little scary. I think we all kind of sat back of like, oh my God, that just actually happened. And it's really telling that the next day of a debate, the majority of his staffers are trying to say that he's not a racist, or that he didn't mean to do that. And it's like, okay, well, his words spoke very clearly. And I think it just like laid out fully the stakes in this election, that again, it couldn't be more clear that Joe Biden is actually someone that is not trying to divide our country. He's trying to bring our country together. And Donald Trump just wants to fuel the flames. And it's something that no one wants, truly. And it's why we want everyone to get engaged. It's why we need everyone to get out to vote. It's why we're encouraging everyone. Just go to iwillvote.com right this second and make a plan to vote, because the stakes couldn't be more clear. If that scared you, what you saw yesterday with Donald Trump, go register 5 friends. We really do have the power to take our country back, to fight for those values that you were talking about, that are so core focused to the American dream and our values. And we really, really do have to fight for this. And we can only do that with the power of our vote.
Right. I couldn't agree more. And I just want to ask, going forward, as you said, in this first debate, there was a lot of interruptions, and most of them were coming from President Trump. So is Joe's strategy going to change in the future, or will it be the same as we saw last night?
Yeah, I think, we're going to continue to speak to the issues. No matter, it's what Donald Trump always tries to do. It's not anything new. It's not anything surprising. He always tries to distract as much as possible, because he refuses to take, responsibility for the struggles that millions of families are currently facing. And, what we're going to do as a campaign, and what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as candidates will do, is continue to speak directly to the American people on why they're the best choice. They want to ensure that they're earning every vote, that although, yes, the stakes are extremely high this election, we want voters to give something to vote for. we want to speak directly to those core kitchen table issues. And that's what we're going to see throughout every single campaign, debate, because we just want to stick to the issues that the voters want to hear about. We don't care to, sit there and go back and forth with Donald Trump. We know that's not what voters want. And we know that that's not what voters want to hear. So you'll continue to see Joe Biden and Kamala Harris directly speak about healthcare, the economy, and education, because we know that voters want clear solutions and clear plans, especially knowing that, for the past 4 years, Donald Trump has not provided that. So we see that as an opportunity for us, and we'll continue to address it head on.
Wonderful. And so how are you all preparing for the next debate with Senator Harris and Vice President?
We're really excited. Yes, the next debate's coming out now, a week away. It's crazy. Time is going by so quickly, but the senator's doing some travel, and I think we're trying to ensure that we're looking and equipping her with all the necessary tools. And she's a great debater herself, so I'm sure she will be great. And again, we're going to continue to just speak directly to the issues and be able to amplify and highlight all of the good things that our campaign is doing and all the great things that we want to speak about directly. And we really want to also uplift the personal stories, right? We always say that politics is personal, and we want to, uplift every single voter that's struggling right now, every family voter, anyone who it was a previous Republican or whatever it might be that's not supporting our campaign. We really want to showcase kind of the diverse coalition that we have built throughout this campaign, and that we want to continue to build on that by electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and, just hitting on the core values over and over.
Well, can't wait to hear more from you guys. And I think the last thing I would love for you to say in this live is, how can people get engaged? How can they, besides voting, of course, how can they do more?
Yeah, we need everyone to help us spread the word. Again, this election is so important, and we need everyone. If you don't have a plan to vote, please do so right now and go to iwillvote.com. We also have it completely in Spanish, voyavotar.com, and help us spread the word. Talk to your friends, tell your families, everyone. Is this election, we know it's going to potentially be close, and we want to ensure that we kind of make our voices loud and clear by winning big. And the way to do that is helping everyone just vote early and just spreading the word far and wide. And, if you have questions, again, go to iwillvote.com, and we lay it out very, very clearly. We need voters to help us make phone calls. We're doing daily phone calls every single day. Just go to joebiden.com and look for a volunteer slip, and we'll get you plugged away. We need all of the help, again, to reach every voter, because that's what we need to do to be able to win this election, is reach every voter and really encourage everyone to vote, and to vote early.
Well, thank you so much. For everyone who watches this live, if you're watching right now or if you watch later, it'll be in our page forever. So you can send it to your friends, send it to your family. They'll get the answers that they need. And we'll keep having Latina staffers like Jen every week for you to have the answers that you need in order to go out and vote. And not only that, but also engage and volunteer, like Jen said. So thank you so much for joining us at BELatina. And yeah, I can't wait to hear more from you guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye.